The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Welcome to the show. I'm here in our house, our apartment.
Our place.
With Chris Convey, my boyfriend.
The cohabitation.
My
of it
live-in.
We live together
live-in
now.
partner.
Yeah.
Now he's your roommate too.
Oh, yeah, he's my roommate.
Sexy.
Bedmate. We got to get a bigger bed.
Oh boy.
Anya, Brian, and Noah are also here.
What size beds do they all have?
Yeah, are you guys sleeping with partners in a queen? I mean, Brian doesn't sleep with his partner in the bed. They have separate bedrooms. So do you sleep with a queen with two people?
Queen hair. Well, also a creature. A
That is
57-pound dog. It's insane.
Wait, your dog sleeps in the
What?
bed with you?
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
you guys doing? Come on.
Cockblock City.
No, I mean like sleep block city. Like, can you even sleep
Yeah.
with that? Aren't you constantly
I mean,
waking
it's
up
so
and like
wonderful. I do have a hip dysplasia and I'm constantly waking up. No.
you have things that dogs should have?
Yeah.
Dysplasia,
Rabies.
kennel cough.
Chris and I both said rabies.
Best friends. Brian got a good haircut.
Perfect butthole.
It does look like a
boy.
good haircut.
This haircut. Yeah, no, this is 2 weeks from a haircut, so it's like about that time when it starts to grow in and everyone's pleased.
It's
yeah,
feeling
Chris got
itself.
one last week.
You
too,
know
and
how
it's
it
so
is.
fun.
When you
You
get
know-
a haircut, no matter
Chris,
how
you're
good the
almost there.
haircut is, when you get it, you just feel like it's shit.
Yeah.
But it takes like 2 weeks, then it's good.
I
Yeah.
just asked Matt if I looked like a Republican newscaster the other day because I too had
And he just asked you. You told us if he looked like a pale mouse. Why do you guys ask each other these really hurtful questions that you know you're never going to say yes to? Like, I don't think I've ever asked you, do I look fat or
No.
do I look
No.
ugly?
I tell you
Because-
every morning before I leave.
Yeah, because I never have to question it. You
don't have
write
to.
me a note on all of my little lunches you pack for me that are just celery sticks.
You know how you
air.
look. You know how you
You
look based
know I
on
love
what
air.
I pack for you in your lunch.
Yeah, that's true. No, I don't understand people who ask their partners things that are hurtful. You're pretty much just telling them to tell you the opposite because you don't really want to know if you look like a Republican. And are you expecting? Do you know that you'll be able to know if you look like what did you say, a housewife, Republican housewife?
Republican newscaster.
Okay, do you know, will his response, if he laughs, does that mean yes?
Yes, absolutely yes.
Okay, and what are you going to do about it if he laughs?
Get a haircut.
Get another one.
Or
Go even shorter.
get fucked and put some hair powder in my hair. And
Or
be
just
like,
start watching Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
or just
that-
lean into it.
Or yeah, get rid of the bow tie that you wear around the house with him every day.
This just in. We're fighting.
It's a trick though, because if somebody asks like, "Oh, do I look Republican?" and you say, "No, you don't," then you're denying that a person's feelings and they get upset that way. So what you have to do
I've never asked anyone for feedback on my looks. I'm so scared of the answer. Why do you guys want to know that you look bad?
I don't care if I look like a Republican newscaster. It's just a haircut. So, and Matt doesn't lie, which I love. And I can't believe it's not on the spectrum. But
I think
he just tells the truth. He's like, I don't think so at all. Like, I can tell if he's lying at all.
And you
like
believe
when-
that.
Right.
I
unpopular
do.
opinion.
He's not a
but
great actor.
Have you seen Republican newscasters?
They're kind of hot.
I mean,
Yeah,
pretty
that's a
hot.
compliment.
Nowadays, you're right.
That's
You're
what they're
right.
like. That's part of what's going on
the
over there.
appeal over there. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why everyone's.
Speaking of
parents
which,
can't
we're
turn it
coming to
off.
San Diego soon. Don't miss Nikki in San Diego.
Wait, is San Diego
afterwards.
full of Republican newscasters?
Yes. Turn on
Really?
the TV when we're there. You'll be like, Jesus Christ. It's like the Trump, what was Trump's pageant? The Miss Universe or Miss World?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Miss
all that. They all have mermaid hair and it's bleached out of and their teeth are gleaming and they're just really, really right wing and beautiful.
You were mentioning something before the podcast about Matt asking about his pallor, and I
Yes.
was going to bring this up on the show today. Men are getting spray tans so much more. I've noticed it in all of my like comedian friends.
You're kidding.
Bert
me.
Kreischer even yesterday posted a video that I loved where he's losing weight and he's like kind of documenting
feeling
it.
good.
And he goes, this is what I look like when I put a spray tan on this. Imagine what it's going to look like. So he acknowledged the thing that women have always known. You get so much hotter with a spray tan. I like that men are embracing it. It doesn't make me cringe. I think that if you're smart, if you're on TV a lot, you should get a spray tan because
Sure.
I've noticed these guys all looking a little bit like they get richer. And I'm like, what are they doing that's different? They're just doing spray tans.
And hair stuff. Like I
And hair
just started
stuff,
watching the
and-
morning show. John Hamm is doing something. I mean, he's always had a
How
great
can you not
hairline,
be?
but it's even better. And
It's insane.
what's his name? The brother.
Billy Crudup.
Crudup's doing something to his hair. He's not getting a lot of face work done, but man, is he
Crudup.
aging well.
Yeah, he does.
And
He
what's
looks
the
like
other guy? Duplass.
he's aging like a skeleton. Like he's aging like
Mhm, a hot
that
skeleton.
like Mr. Bones. He's aging like the Jack from the Midnight Before Christmas.
Jack
Halloween.
Skellington.
Yes, he kind of is aging a little bit like that, but he looks good.
He's got a tight neck. Tight neck.
We got a tight
Yeah.
neck here.
I like him a lot, but he's getting
Beautiful eyes.
evil.
You like him just fine.
He's getting. Are you watching the morning
I'm on
show?
episode 2. Yeah.
Okay, so you are like watching in the middle of episode 2, or you're like
Just
about
came
to
back
start?
from space.
Well, so you only
Oh
watched one
my
episode.
God.
Correct.
Spoiler for anybody that's watched the
The-
morning
oh,
show.
I put it on my story too.
Yeah.
It
It's-
deserves to be spoiled.
It's the worst.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever watched.
Yes.
And
I've
I
heard
said
it
the dumbest
jumped
thing.
the shark.
Oh my God. It should be the news phrase should be it went to space.
Went to space on
Because-
a half-hour notice.
When
and
did Cheers
the guy
go
who
to
did
space?
oh my God. Okay, so let's just talk about the morning show. The morning show is was this great show. They did a whole season or 2 seasons. It was compelling. There was like drama. It's like not the best written show. Chris, you made a great point the other day. If you're watching Succession and then you go to the morning show, you're going to have some judgments.
You're going to have a bad time.
You're not gonna have a great time because Succession's the greatest show ever. And even if you're watching Suits, you're gonna have a bad time because the dialogue is rough and it's
Chris's
good.
favorite show.
I would put Suits, no joke.
I said it the other night. I go, "Is this better than Suits?" And you were
It's-
like, "Oh, Suits is 100 times better." Than
Yeah,
this.
Suits. I would put Suits, whatever the good seasons are. I don't really remember, but I would put the good seasons of Suits up against these 3 seasons of morning show any day. Yeah.
No,
Against
I
all
wouldn't be
these
surprised by that.
hard-hitting actors.
I know
Wait.
it's insane.
No, the dialogue is
Margulies,
terrible.
Carell,
And
Aniston.
the
Witherspoon?
acting is great. No one's questioning that. What is happening? And the acting isn't that great I saw one thing. Let me just say, yesterday I said that comments make you change the way you look at things. I read a review of the morning show before I started watching it, and it didn't even discuss how much it had jumped the shark and how dumb the plot lines are. That didn't even, I can't even believe that Lanik didn't touch that because it said what the morning show gets wrong. And they talked about all this other stuff. But they did say that Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon are bad at being news anchors. And it's not believable that Reese Witherspoon has just she came out of nowhere. She was like doing, local morning TV in Kentucky. And then all of a sudden she is the #1 hard-hitting newscaster with her own, she's the Peter Jennings of 2023 after working at UBA, which UBA, by the way, if you're watching the show, you'll be interested in this. If you're not, you might not be. UBA only reports on things that are going on at UBA. Any report they
UBA
ever do is
scandals.
well, UBA has to answer some questions today about our race relations. UBA has some allegations to talk about regarding sexual, assault. UBA, I've been here at UBA forever. Everything's about UBA. It's so dumb.
It's bad. But I think
Everyone's sleeping in their office.
I actually think they do a good job of making morning show stuff look a little bit cheesy and
Yes.
hokey.
And their toss outs are kind of dumb and their little stupid host banter where
And
they
it's
all
the
pretend to
same
be
tone.
friends.
And it's and then we'll do
I
it
hard
when we
disagree with The Atlantic on that. I think Aniston in particular is doing a great job of doing morning patter.
Well, I think Chris had a good point because I was saying this. I was like,
Two good
I'm just
points.
not buying them as newscasters. I think they got in my head about it because I just don't think I think they're amazing actresses. I can never hold a little even match up to what they do generally, but it's newscasting or, which isn't that hard. Just read a prompter and talk like this. It's not that hard. But you said also stand-up comedy is something, or being an athlete, actors can't fake that. You can tell when an
Right.
actor's being a stand-up and it's not good. It's a
Right.
harder thing
when
to
actors
ace.
try to be a stand-up,
Or an athlete.
They're very, very rarely is it great.
That's
And
why
then-
Sandler's movie was so good because Anthony Edwards played himself or played a basketball player and he could actually play basketball.
Oh
Yes,
my God.
it
I
made
pictured
sense.
the guy from ER.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just pictured the doctor from ER. What's his name? Is he also Anthony
the
Edwards?
bespectacled
I
one
think
that
it's
died of cancer?
Edwards Anthony.
Yeah. I don't know the basketball thing. Oh, Hustle? Is that the
Yeah,
movie you're talking
Hustle.
about? I never saw it.
Netflix's
Solid.
Sandler movie Hustle. They got
Yeah.
actual star current basketball players to play the basketball
That's
players in the
important.
movie, and
I've
they were
heard that's
excellent.
important. Because Chris, anytime an athlete is on a show and throws a ball, Chris will be like, "Oof, not a real athlete." Like he can just tell by the throw.
Doesn't that bother you, Brian, when you see like a movie about like the greatest quarterback of all time
Yes.
and they're like throwing like
Or when a
this.
basketball player takes a shot and then they cut to just a close up of the hoop, and then the ball goes through the hoop.
Whoosh.
Oh!
There's these kids. What I showed it to you the other day. Like
Yeah.
the Crab brothers. They do a perfect job of making fun of it. I'm gonna look them up.
I don't think it's worth playing on here.
I'm not gonna play it.
Okay, because you can't hear their throws, but they do really bad throws. And it was exactly what Chris has always been saying. I mean, I've been hearing him say this for, 45 years?
Crab videos. Crab with a K. These
Do they
guys
have
do a good
crabs
job.
for
Yeah, they-
hands?
No,
crab
they're
hands?
real people. They're like young. They're
Young, funny
kids,
boys.
Yeah.
Young, hard-bodied,
Well, you
Are
know.
they tanned?
pure-souled, spray tanned, young.
I'll tell you why Matt got insecure about his pallor, and I said it
'Cause you
before
got a
the
spray
show,
tan.
and I'll say it again for the listener who wasn't here beforehand. But he got insecure because we were backstage at Nikki's show in New Jersey, and I had just gotten a spray tan, as had Nikki. Right?
Right.
You were tan.
Oh, no, I was just tanning up. I was like tanning my legs with the lotion stuff.
Oh
And
yeah,
then-
but it looked great. You were gleaming and bronzed, and Rick Glassman's in the backstage just holding court, being, Rick Glassman. So and then he has a beautiful model girlfriend, and Matt just is in the other tiny room around the corner, and for some reason sends me a text that just says, "Does my skin tone make me look like a mouse?" I'm like, he's been around
A mouse?
tan, good-looking, charismatic people for 5 minutes too long.
What does that
He's
even
getting
mean? Like
insecure. I don't
pinkish?
know. Like
I didn't get it
and then I
either.
said, "Babe, no, you're so hot. What are you talking about?" But this is a hilarious text, and he just wrote, "An old mouse,"
Oh my God.
because Rick's girlfriend is 26 and was like,
Mhm.
"You know what's happening to me lately is I'm looking in the mirror and I'm noticing I'm not aging or
I
something."
will say, let me defend her because she was not just saying,
Not an
she
attack.
listens to the show. I know,
just the
but
facts.
yes, but that would sound crazy out of context. She had just seen me on stage saying that girls in your 20s, I know you think you're not going to age because you're just
Yes.
thinking like, oh, it's a choice. You look at older women and you go, that's so sad they're doing that. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be
Amazing
different. And she goes, oh my God, that's such a good point that you made on stage about that because I was just looking in the mirror today and I thought, I'm not aging. And she was just having that. She was just verifying like it
Yes.
is true that women in their 20s don't think it's going to happen to them. And then it fucking hits you so hard one
100%.
day.
Do you remember
Yeah.
those times that are confronting? Like, if you walk by a
Yes.
certain kind of car with like a tint in the window, and you see what you actually look like in that car window, you're like, I had no idea.
What do you mean by a tint in the window?
When you walk by like a car and like you can see your reflection,
Yeah.
there's something extra revealing about that kind of
that
like a
view.
certain tint in the window.
Really?
Do you ever
Yes.
see it's kind of like when you are wearing sunglasses that wrap
Yes.
around and you kind of look to the side and you can see your crow's
Yes.
feet up close.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
so
You also
confronting.
see inside your
awful.
pores around it, and you're like, how are they so
It's
clogged?
disgusting.
Oh, like
In
you
the
think
four.
in the four. You got that. I think you might have a joke about the
Magnifying mirror.
The magnifying mirror.
Awful. And you know what's the worst thing about that joke is that I've always been like, it's comedians talk about like, I guess I've talked about this with every comedian I know, and everyone can relate to it in something in their life where you like, maybe Anya, you have like lyrics like this where you're just like, it's a B or it's like a C. It's just a placeholder. And I haven't gotten back to
Right.
tinker with it. I'm going to get back in there and tinkle on it. And,
That
And-
always works.
I just have never gotten back to the thing about, I have this whole bit about, features in hotel rooms that make me depressed. And one of them is the magnifying mirror. And I've never been able to like get back in there and do it. And then I bought Ellen's book.
Oh boy.
And it's like the first 3 pages
No
is like
way.
dissecting those mirrors and how unnecessary they are and how awful they are. And it's
no.
like she took that sponge and wrung it out dry.
And is there still room? Because you have other things in the hotel that you talk about.
Yeah.
Is this now toast?
I think my challenge is to find something about it that she didn't talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the hardest thing ever, but it
Squeeze
just
that
showed me
blood.
how many like things there are in everything. Like you don't have to give
Yeah.
up early on something.
Sure.
We learned that a little bit last night to a bad degree.
Oh my God. Chris
Oh,
and I have been
shit.
watching a lot of stand-up specials just to get ready for mine because he's producing
Oh, I want to
mine.
hear about this.
It made me sad.
Well, we can't name names.
No, I know, but I
No,
was.
no.
We can't name.
Well, there was a bunch that I was like, I don't know. It really made me sad.
Well, it made me happy because if anyone's been listening lately, I've been feeling imposter syndrome and feeling like, oh God, I'm not good enough because I've been just listening to the greats.
Yeah.
I've been comparing myself to the best at their best.
Yeah. I mean, I've been watching and listening to some of it with you. And
We watched Mulaney the other night
Oh
at
my
Radio
God.
City and Kid Gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so funny.
It's unfair to watch Mulaney and then watch anybody else.
Oh, it isn't fair, but these people deserve that comparison.
Right.
They deserve the people we were watching.
Yeah.
How dare
How
anyone
dare they?
like anything that these people do? It's the fans' fault. It's people's bad taste fault. I'm angry at people who like these people and
Oh.
continue to support them and continue to laugh at their jokes because you think I don't know whose lifestyle these people like whose experience these people are representing. I'm really just
Yes.
talking about one person. I'm trying to think
I'm
of the
talking
other
about
one.
multiple people.
No, I can't
There's
think of the name.
one successful comedian, and also I want to add on.
Not good.
the
I'm
industry.
gossiping. I'm not being what's it with my word?
Impeccable with your word.
Yeah, I'm
Fuck
being
that
peckable.
book. Fuck that dumb book. It's stupid
being
horseshit
peckable.
from college. You want to add on the industry though, because the industry also just props people like that up. Who it's like, who are you talking to? Like, there's something about them that the industry just gloms onto. But I was watching a comedian a month ago, and I could not figure out who was relating to the jokes this person was telling.
Yeah.
There were audience members laughing, and I was like, what world are these people living in that they just understood what he said enough to think it was funny? And I can't say who it was, but I'll tell you after. Like some of these things, it was like somebody said like, and then when then your girl goes to the bathroom and she comes out with a rubber hose, and it's like, enough with the hoses, and everyone's like, oh yes, they fucking
Yes.
threw chairs in the air.
That's why I was so sad last night. I was like,
pausing it and I go,
am I even a part of this world? Like,
Yes.
this person
Yes.
kept saying, like, you know what this is like, and I'm like, does anybody know? This isn't even a real
the
thing.
person would speak from their point of view, representing like a certain gender, and then I would check in with either Chris or I, and I'm like, does that represent the gender that this person is saying? And then they would switch and go, other gender. Let me actually talk from your perspective, and I'd pause it and go, let me say from the perspective of the gender this is from, because I'm not trying to give away who it was. It was wrong on both ends because at first I go, maybe this person isn't nailing the other gender because they're not that gender, so they're not in the loop, so they're maybe just off. But then they represented my gender, and I go, they're fucking so off with this.
Right.
I know so many women, they've never had this experience. I wish I could give examples. I'm sorry. This must be so frustrating for the listener, because even listening to Brian say that little thing, I was like, tell me who now? Tell me who now? But okay, so let's move on. We were just watching bad stand-up, and it made me feel good because, it's interesting because I feel like I'm somewhere in between. Like, I think you either have to be real shit or fucking amazing. And in between, no one really has room for it or space for it. Does anyone agree?
I think there's so much mediocrity, isn't there?
But I'm saying there's either really bad that you're just like, how did this get made? Or it's like the best ever.
It's feeling like that. It's starting to feel like that, where a lot of this stuff, like I look at like cartoons that get bought and put on TV, and it's like, there's no in between anymore. It's like, either this is pure
Right.
horseshit.
It's
There's
either
so
the
many
worst or the
cartoons that
best.
came out in the last 3 to 5 years that are like irredeemably bad. It doesn't even
Right.
make sense that they're on television. And then every once in a while,
Name,
there's something
name.
that's so amazing, and I'm like, God damn it, I'll never be able to write something
That's
like
why
that.
I just think if Succession exists and John Mulaney exists, what are we doing? There's room
believe.
for other stuff, but it should be
and
pretty close to that.
We need
it should
chances.
be a bar.
We need chances to get there too. So without
Like on a football team, is there someone? There's Mahomes, and then is there
there's
like?
a whole practice squad? Patrick
Yeah.
squad.
But are they
I'm a part of the
terrible?
Patrick squad. I'm a big Mahomes fan.
Okay, we got to go to break. Well, let's change the subject after this because it's frustrating for people who are out of the loop. Okay, we're back. I was just looking in my notes for some reason. It just came up on my phone, and I have a joke that I think is pretty good. Do you want me to
Do you
try
want to do
out?
it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, I just found out. This is really hard. I just found out like I can't have kids, because they're awful. in my life. Just really building it up like, oh, I can't have kids. But like the reason is because they'll ruin my life.
Right.
Last night when Chris and I went to dinner and I just saw this like toddler knocking things off the table and the parents just like tired and both hunched over with horrible posture, not looking at each other, not even dressed up, just trying to get through the day. And I was just like, I just felt real good about again, I felt it was like that scene verified this other thing I've been doubting. Like, am I doing the wrong thing by not doing that? And then watching the specials at home of the bad people made me feel like, okay, I'm good. Like I've been, what is it called when you like watch things to make you feel better? Hate watch or Schadenfreude?
Yeah.
Schadenfreude, yeah, when you hate something to feel better. I don't know, hate watch is I think the word you're thinking of though.
Yeah, I don't think I was hate watching. Yeah,
Well,
hate watch is when you're like entertained.
Isn't it more you take pleasure in other people's
Suffering?
Yes,
yeah,
pleasure.
like what's that?
Pleasure in other people's suffering.
Yes.
Is Schaden.
That's what I think it is.
Okay, then I
Yeah.
was having Schadenfreude at the dinner. Actually, I felt bad for those parents. I want them to have a good life, and I'm sure they do.
But don't you think there's a certain element of you looking for things like
Yes.
trying to like pour on like reasons to not do it because it's
Yeah, 'cause
annoying
I'm-
to you in so many ways, and
Yeah.
it's like getting to the end of the road potentially, and it's like, okay, it would
you
be good to
gotta
sour grapes this a little bit.
Yes, sour grapes. It's good to validate the choice that I've already made. And then I had stress dreams last night about having a baby, and we named it Nolan. And
Whoa.
it was like premature, and it came out, and then it turned
Oppenheimer.
into like a little animal. And I was chasing around that animal, and I always have stress dreams where I'm trying to take care of an animal that I've starved to death. And it's like fluttering around like a moth that's injured, and I'm trying to find it, and then I lose it, and then I rescue it, and I'm holding it in my hand, and then it morphs into different things, and that's a common stress dream for me. But we had a baby, we named it Nolan, and Chris's middle name is Nolan, not because of the actor.
Oh,
I think
right.
Nolan's the coolest
Director.
name ever. Director is what I mean. Yeah. Does he ever act?
Were you ever at any point in the dream, did you say to yourself, for 50 seconds, I thought there were monsters on this earth?
No. That's
Is
a
that from
reference to
Oppenheimer?
No. Wait, why would I say that? Oh, because they turn into little monsters?
Well, yeah, because you said it was like an animal running
Shape-shifting
around.
Metal. Yes, it
Yeah.
was. It was. Chris and I have also been watching The Detroiters,
Oh, God,
which
it's
is
good.
I think you should
Oh,
leave.
yeah.
That's the reference he just made.
The
is I think
beginning
you
of the
should leave.
end for Comedy Central's when they canceled Detroiters.
What were
Or
they
the end of the
thinking?
end, really.
Because
Yeah.
they don't have money for like they don't do anything. Do they do Nora from Queens? Like, is that the only show they have right now?
I have no idea what they're doing. I
Yeah.
just for
But The
like
Detroiters was great.
it was so good.
We're only halfway through the first season, and we love it. It's like a little. We know we only have
It's
two
a palate
seasons of it.
cleanser.
So
When we're watching
yes.
things, it's like, eh. Oh, we also started watching. Have you guys? I'm sure you guys do all this stuff, but like go back in on Seinfeld episodes randomly.
Yeah. Oh man.
We're going back in on Arrested Development. We're on season 2. I love
did that
it
too.
Oh, it's so
much.
good.
I think it's our
so
second
good.
or third time through.
Brian, do you and Allie do like go back and watch shows together?
Like rewatch?
Yeah, like I don't know. Do you ever watch? Rewatch,
I mean,
like-
Allie, as I've mentioned, Allie is watching Seinfeld for the first time, and so I'm rewatching it with her at points. But it's very rare that we would go back and watch a series again that we've already seen together.
I think that's rare that you don't do that.
Are you in a loveless marriage?
It's rare that we do that. She'll watch movies again and again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think if there's a show that we really like we've watched it and then we move on to the next one.
Right.
There's just
Well,
so many great things.
So many.
There's no mediocre stuff out anymore. Everything's great.
I think that I get a lot of joy out of watching things that I know Chris and I both have like loved separately when growing up or whatever before we met. And then we watched them together. Like last night I pulled up the Seinfeld episode where he is posing as a marine biologist. Anya, were you really into Seinfeld?
I think I watched it, but I didn't appreciate it at the time
You
as much
have
as I
to
would
go
now.
watch Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah, I
I realize
dip
it
in
has
sometimes.
colored my personality more than anything in my life. Seinfeld has.
Yeah.
I
Just
think I just
mannerisms,
watched
the way I
the
talk.
wallet episode or where
Oh,
Georgia
that's a
gets
great
the
episode.
wallet.
Oh yeah, and
It's like
he has to like
reversible or
Well, he
something.
has the
it gets too big. But last night we watched the one where he the sea was angry that day, my friends.
Yes, classic.
And then we also watched the one. I just love Julia Louis-Dreyfus moments. Jerry, give me $20. let's see if you get the $20 back. Because Jerry keeps breaking even. And so she's like, give me $20. Because he's like, I lose a job, I get a job. I lose a girlfriend, I get another girlfriend. I lose a poker game, I get that money back. And she's like, give me $20. And he's like, what for? And she's like, just give me $20. And then she takes it and she just throws it out the window and she goes, and she just looks at him like, and she's so excited, so cute. And then you were like, she's just the cutest thing.
She's the most charming. She's amazing.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
I
That
get
marine
enough.
biologist speech makes me miss like live studio audiences a little bit. When you have a really good moment in a sitcom and then the audience erupts in
yeah.
applause, like that is worth it. I think that's worth some of the corniness if they would just
Until
make
you
the
hear
jokes better.
when I hear people have not enjoyed their working times, it really makes me not enjoy the thing I used to like
when
Friends.
Rainn Wilson was like, I hated.
I just found
really
out he
broke
was
my heart.
depressed during
Yeah.
The Office and was never happy, and he was constantly thinking about, why didn't my movie do well? Why am I not signing this person? Why am I not getting this development deal? He was like miserable the whole time he was making The Office. He was trying to prove a point, which is like he wishes he would have gone back and just like been happy with what he had, like just had gratitude in the moment, because he was on the hit. He was the best character or one of the best characters ever to live on a comedic series, and one of the best comedies to ever be made, and he couldn't enjoy it. So it was a point he just made in a podcast offhand, but that clip's been circulating, and I felt the same way of like, well, this is going to change the way I look at this. Like he was, and Matthew Perry, all those quotes that came out of his book, how he was miserable, how he's blacked out, how he was just frantically so upset all the time about if a line was going to work or not with the studio audience. Like he could never be sure of it. So he was always on edge. Like I don't know about you. I don't want my performers to be on edge. Can everyone just have fun? That's why if I'm going out on stage, I try to like genuinely set the stage to be having a good time, because the worst thing I could ever do for my fans, at least, or for me as a fan, the worst thing to find out would be if Taylor Swift was having a bad time, or like she was having a bad day that day.
And apparently she's having a great time. That's why I like that Shane Gillis special. He's out there,
Yeah.
whether he is or isn't, he looks like he's having a good time out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I buy it. And that's why I'd be excited to go see Taylor now, knowing that she's like super like starting to be in love. She's in the best stages of a relationship, the early stages where everything they do is adorable and you're just like, fawning over a hunk.
That's part of what
Remember
you're
us?
selling.
We used to have that.
Yeah, you used to be a hunk.
I used to be a hunk. We haven't subbed it. We get back together though. Whenever we get back together, we have a surge of that.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, it's good. So we're due.
Yeah, we're overdue.
Yeah, it's I just
when
want
you get on stage, that's part of what you're selling is having a good time, and that's why I bet you the comedian you were watching that you're like, who's relating to this? I bet you they're not relating to it. I bet you they're just like, he's having such a good time. I want to have a good time also, and that's what you sell. The experience.
There's a great quote, and I think Jeff Tweedy like paraphrased it from somebody else, but he said
Wilco.
From Wilco. He said something like, "People go to concerts because they want to see people believing in themselves."
That's so true.
And
That's
so
what you want. You want to be confident in the person. You want to know that the person's having a great time. That is why I suffer with watching Taylor Swift's 1989 performances, because she said in Miss Americana that she was starving herself at that time and that she would really feel exhausted and hungry. I don't think she said hungry, but she would feel so exhausted during those shows because she didn't have enough energy. And so it makes me sad to watch it now, because I'm like, oh, she might have been like hungry during this or something. And now I just can't enjoy, You Are in Love as the song as much, that performance.
and that's from which album?
Actually, as someone who's been anorexic before, the only time I was having fun was when I was performing, and I would stop forgetting about how hungry I am. So
Now you can
maybe I'll be
enjoy
able to
them
watch
again.
it. Yeah.
nice reversal.
Okay. Like that really is like the only time like
Been wasting years.
you're getting that dopamine rush, and you're like, I'm not even hungry. Like I'm
Right.
fucking I'm getting all this attention and love.
Now
Or like
1989 is the only thing you can watch, because the other ones are like, she's probably full right now.
19 to 89 was her weight range that she was going for during that time as well. No, I'm not making light. Taylor, don't get mad about that joke, please. If you're listening, I love you so much. It was just a joke.
Nice apology.
Yeah,
In the
you
moment
covered that.
apology.
Well, it is.
Way to
I
go.
mean, you gotta do it. You gotta
For the
do it,
next
because I don't
time.
We
want to
here
ever.
at
gotta do
UAB
it.
made some comments.
Yeah, UAB. Wait, can I just quickly go back to the morning show? I'm not done just saying some of my gripes.
Really?
No, one more thing.
But what about all the people that haven't
Chris
listened to
is
them?
because I
devastated.
think this might
Even at the time, I was like, we got to move on.
No, I think this is interesting. I think, okay, shows do this a lot, especially shows written by men. And I don't mean to be like does it pass the Bechdel test? And then women ever talking about anything other than men? But like, you could tell in this show, they needed to make Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon's characters like they're best friends. But like, they haven't shown us that in the storyline at all. Like, there's been no evidence of that because they were adversaries for a couple of the for both seasons. They had not great moments where they were kind of in competition with each other and threatened by one another. So something happened though between season 2 and season 3, and now they're really close and best friends. And how did they prove it to us?
But why is this a guy?
The
Like,
speech.
what has that anything to do with?
Because this is where I think
potentially.
this is why
we don't
I
even
think-
know that a guy came up with this
But this
idea.
is I know you're looking it up right now to prove me wrong.
I'm not trying to prove you wrong. I just don't
guessing it was because this is why, Chris. I'm going to explain it. Because the way they made these women seem close was that they had one of them say to the other, Oh, well, did you get that rug I suggested you get? She goes, yes, I did get that
was
rug. It
it.
looks great. And she goes, you got to come. You haven't been to my place yet. I've invited you so many times. You got to come see the rug. She's like, I know. I got to get over there to see the rug. And she goes, yeah, it's. I've had the rug a while and you've been promising to come over and you got to come over for some wine. So it's wine. It's women suggesting rugs to each
Oh
other.
my
And it's
God.
like, and it's, you gotta come over and see the rug. It's like, you gotta come see the baby.
This is like when I went to
think that's-
Nashville to write a hit song with a very well-known writer down there, and he was like, "Let's write a song from like a point of view of a girl. Like, let's just do a song for like what you guys like to do. Like, I got a manicure today. I'm gonna meet my girls for martinis." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Well, he has
I hate to say it, directed by a woman, written by a woman.
Okay, that's fine.
She's a misogynist, and a lot
I'm
of
just
women
saying,
are.
I get the sense of those things too sometimes, and I'm like, this was
Yeah, because
probably
you
not.
say sometimes this was
Yeah.
written by a woman
'Cause
because
you'll-
this is not a man.
Because something will happen on a show, and you'll be like, what did they just say? Like, like hit a touchdown or something, and you're like, who wrote this?
Me.
And then you look it up, and you're like,
learned.
oh,
It's Christopher
okay.
Nolan.
So I understand like the inclination to do that. I get it, but it was definitely written by a woman.
I hear that. It's, but it was just, I guess, I didn't mean to play the man card or like men don't understand women at all. It's more that just make them not friends. They can just not be friends. We don't need them to be friends. But I think they just need it for us to calm us in some way. Like, oh, at least they're friends. Because there's we don't see them hang out at all. But this is the storyline that is fucking nuts. Okay, first episode. If you haven't seen the show, you don't like the show. It's not a spoiler alert. And you should watch it just to see if you think it's as crazy as me. So a little bit of a spoiler alert. Want to do a honk for morning show first episode? Okay.
Oh my God.
So Reese Witherspoon she's on the like evening news and she's the Peter Jennings now. Okay. And then Jennifer Aniston is like the Katie Couric of like the Today Show. Okay. So she does the morning show. So Jennifer Aniston has been training to go up into space. They're going to send her up in a shuttle, but the shuttle is bought by a guy like Elon Musk, who is a billionaire, who the guy at UBA, which is the network, it's like CBS. UBA is the main guy there is going to sell UBA to this rich guy, but she doesn't know that. She says, I'm going up in this space shuttle with this John Hamm guy. And so she's training for like months, waking up early in the morning to go running so she can go up in this dumb space shuttle. It's this whole thing on the show, which I kind of like, maybe they do that. Okay. That makes kind of sense. Like,
yeah, like
maybe-
Shatner did it. Like,
yeah.
celebs, people have done
Sure.
this.
Okay. So like, I don't hate that. But what I do hate is that Reese Witherspoon has a story that she's working on where there is a woman in Texas who is going across the border to get women abortion pills in the States because women in Texas can't get abortions anymore. And she is so upset about it. And she's talking to this girl who is, risking her life to get across the border. And she really wants to expose the story. Then she gives it to her story editor. And her story editor's like, no way, Reese. That is too touchy of a subject for us at UBA. This is a family network and we got to pick our battles. And she's like, I only came on this network so I could change the world. And she's feeling very frustrated. Then she goes to Jennifer Aniston. And she's like, they're going to cut my story. And Jennifer Aniston's like, oh God, you just got to pick your battles. My rug. You're finally seeing the rug. Have some wine. Don't spill it on the rug. So then,
Did they spill it?
no. So then she's going down to go to space. They're flying down there and on the plane. And so Reese has kind of told Jennifer Aniston about the abortion issue. And she's like, that's terrible. And she's like, it's really bad. And so Jennifer Aniston on the plane down to go to space to this Texas is like looking through her phone. And she's like, oh, It is awful, these abortion clinics. Guess how many fake abortion clinics there are in Texas out of 120? Guess how many? And she's talking to all her people who don't care. And she's like, 100 of them are fake. And she was like, this is bullshit. And so she's getting fired up. Oh, they set the scene. Something's going to happen. Jennifer Aniston suddenly sold on this abortion story that she just told Reese to bury and just told Reese, you got to pick your battles, Reese. Don't do it. So she goes down, and then on the way there, she gets there and she finds out that Reese Witherspoon is also on her way down because she is going to go find this woman and do a story about her. But then the woman goes to jail because she's selling abortion pills. And Jennifer Aniston doesn't like the sound of that and says, you know what? I actually have to cover this story. I am so passionate about it. So then Reese gives up her story to Jennifer Aniston for some reason.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Made no sense.
No fucking sense. But Jennifer Aniston, she's got to go up into space. What does she do? Bails on space. This thing she's been planning for months to do. It's a whole thing to go up into space. They're literally going into space, you guys. This is like
They're going in like an hour.
Yeah, they're going in an hour to space and
she's
bails.
missing in the morning.
And she doesn't tell anyone. She just kind of takes off and they're like, we can't find her. And they're like, we got to get someone else to go into space. So luckily, Reese Witherspoon's there. She's like, you know what? I'll go into space. There's no training. She just shows up. John Hamm is expecting Rachel Green to walk in, Jennifer Aniston. That's where this guy finds out that this girl is not going. And they send this other girl up into Reese into space with no training. And then my favorite part was that the person God, okay. It is like, it's, you know how they go like, Houston, we have a problem, like the whole mission control. The mission control is the television studio. So the guy who counts down to the shuttle takeoff is the same guy, is like the production manager. What's the guy's like?
Well, I think he's the director.
He's like the director of the morning show, and he's like 3, 2, 1, blast off. Okay, that guy, I only figured out later because I'm like, why is the guy from the shuttle launch in every episode subsequently in New York? And I'm like, oh, because he's the director of the show. They just threw him in there. Then they go up into space, and Reese Witherspoon is floating around being like, the world looks beautiful up here.
No.
And Jennifer Aniston's downstairs and like downstairs on Earth. I call it downstairs. That's what
Astronauts call it.
cosmonauts. Yeah.
There's Mars.
Wait, why did I say cosmonauts? Does that mean
Wow,
Russian?
It's a Russian.
Wait, why are they cosmonauts? Why can't they be astronauts?
You know, it's just
And
a
why is
different
astronaut-
organization.
But why are astronauts American? Why can't? Because there's nothing. Astra doesn't mean
Well,
American.
probably in Russian, like the cosmos, whatever the language they use to describe
A
space.
Russian astronaut is a cosmonaut.
Yes.
But in France, is it like skymonauts? Like, do they just pick like the starmonauts? Do they just pick a different way to
You
say?
know French. You can do better
It's
than that.
cosmonaut.
Well, I'm just like cielmonauts or whatever. What's sky in French?
You know, like, it is cosmonauts in French.
Cosmonauts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in
Oh my
Russian.
god, I just looked it up. It's cosmonaut.
Did you
Cosmonaut.
hate this episode, Anya, as much as I did? Were you just like,
I was
"Ugh,
yelling at the
what's
TV. I
happening?"
was like, wait, they just swapped?
She stole her story without telling Reese, and then Reese was like, I guess I'll go up into space.
It was one of the most disrespectful episodes of television I've ever been a part of.
That's a
They
really
had
good
no
point.
respect for their audience.
None.
I thought.
It was, and then the second episode even gets wild. I mean, the
Also,
third
I
episode-
thought Reese slept with the woman from Texas. I thought the woman she woke up with in the morning was the woman who was doing the abortion pill thing. That was confusing
That would have been
to me.
fucked up. No, I would have been very upset about that if that was the storyline. I like that you kept
explained
watching it after that.
Why was Reese blonde and no one talks like she was brunette all up to this, right?
No, she went blonde last season. I
Okay,
think it was
I
like a
missed that.
choice that they made on the show. Yeah.
What season
Some
is
man
this?
was like, we need her to
3.
be blonde.
Yeah.
And you're
some
telling me
man.
seasons
Look it up, Chris.
1 and 2 were good?
Yeah, they were
One
pretty
was
good.
one was good.
One
I
was
miss Steve
great.
Carell.
Yeah,
I do
Steve
too.
Carell.
I wish.
Yeah.
It just makes me
R.I.P.
think when stuff like this happens that they lucked into a good season and they didn't actually know what they were doing. When it came
Can we
to
talk about the theme song?
Yeah.
Bop,
really-
beep, bop, bop, beep, bop, bop, beep, beep, bop, bop, beep, 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 bop, bop,
Is anything
beep,
worse?
beep, 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 bop, bop. It is 14 minutes long.
What's dumber than scat? Like
It's
that was one of the worst ideas that
Whoa,
that anybody's ever had.
Watch the morning show. Just please try to get through just the theme. It's trying to be, I think you should leave. Or not, I think you should leave. Remember Catch Me If You Can? Remember that theme? It was really
Yeah.
interesting and it had like kind of cartoon characters that were like mysterious.
And it was all moving and graphic.
Yeah, it
Arrows.
was cool. That's what they're trying to do when they're failing. But Tig is on this season though, and I like seeing Tig.
Yeah, it's great seeing Tig.
Yeah, she's cool.
That's an
hot.
exciting part of it.
It is. Yeah.
A lot of
What'd you
salt and
say?
pepper hair on the season. Tig,
Oh.
Ham, and Duplass. Lots of great salt and pepper happening.
Oh,
I can't wait for that to happen to my hair. I hope it does.
What?
You never know with
Huh?
blondes.
You won't even let it. You won't even know when it does because we blonde it too much.
Yeah, but I want to be salt and pepper, like grayish with the
I
other
don't
white.
think
gray.
you
I don't
do.
think you do. You would Anya, you're saying things
Or I
to like
just
you're
wanna
saying
be
like, oh my
white.
god, I wish I was
white.
a bigger girl. Like you're doing that thing that women do where they don't really want it, but they're like trying to empower other women. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't. I'm not-
Here's what I really want. God, if you're listening, goddess,
Okay.
I want pure white hair. And I'm going to dye it blonde at the same time, but it's going to be able to grow out for weeks at a time and no one will know because the blonde that I dye it is just a half a shade off from the white that is natural. Like Kirsten's mom has that hair.
Okay.
Ingrid.
All right. Okay.
Just pure white. Can that happen? How do
I
you
don't
know?
know because you'll have to grow out your hair to see what it is. Like at some point, women who go gray, they have to say "fuck it" for a really long time, enough to let the grays come in. And
There's
to
a
let the roots come
transition
in.
period there.
Yeah,
It's rough.
it's
You
gonna
see
be
a lot of
rough.
it around New York City. It's cool. You'll see a woman just walking down the street and like half her hair is magenta and then the top half is like salt and pepper cool.
I have to decide what do we think is cool, looking hot and young or looking old as fuck and like owning it because we are kind of split. And that's what I think frustrates me is like owning it and being yourself is like the greatest way to look. And then looking fake and perfect and like plumped up is also the best thing to look. So what's right?
No, the problem is there's so many different opinions that there is no consensus. So to be like everybody wants everybody to look young, like there are a lot of people that want people to look young, but there's people that are like, oh, this woman with platinum gray hair is fabulous because she's like stylish and cool. So it's like
yeah, you got to be stylish if you go gray. That's
like
the problem.
Yeah, you have to be real
You
stylish.
can't just wear
You have to have like cool collars.
yes,
or
and
a
like
hippie.
lots of jewelry
And like really great, like what are they
And a
called?
great cut.
Bangle like bracelets.
Yep.
Or a hippie.
Yeah.
I feel like there are like really deep
Silver
hippie
fox
women
hippies.
who sell it.
Yes.
Yeah,
and you have to actually
those
like yourself.
Arizona.
Like you have to exude confidence
Yeah.
and self-esteem that like so few people I was going to say women, but I think so few people ever reach that level of like, I like myself. But when I think we're all attracted to these women and like just attracted meaning like, I want to just know her. It's usually a woman who doesn't give a fuck if you care what she looks like. She's not trying anymore in that way. She just like has this thing about her. And I think that's what we're kind of all going for. Have
I
you
loved
guys?
Esther Perel in the morning
Yeah.
She was
Yeah, she's foxy.
show?
But
Yeah.
she's still trying.
Yeah, but she's got beautiful crow's feet exploding from each eye, and I loved it.
Wow, that's
I'm
really.
sure she'd love to
Oh,
hear
yeah.
that.
I mean, they were like radiating, not exploding. That was a
It's
little
like
hard.
My
fireworks
dad-
on your face.
Jesus.
It's like
growing up, my dad would like prefer
love
us to
her.
have like tucked in shirts and then like be clean shaven
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
that
Yeah.
generation hates an untucked shirt.
They loved it, and so sometimes, and he's like the nicest. He's just like the nicest, happiest. Like nothing is really laced in an insult or anything. But now I
Yeah.
think he's genuinely like embraced certain things, and he's like, oh, I love the 5 o'clock shadow. And like in some cases, you'd be like, that's an insult masked as a
Right.
compliment.
but he
'Cause
really
people do that
does like it
sometimes.
because your
But he-
dad
he
is
does.
genuinely
But people do
so
that. People do
kind.
that thing where they lace an insult
Ugh.
masked. Like it's like
Like-
they're like, oh God,
Yeah. Oh,
I
you
really-
look healthy.
yeah, it's like yeah, or like.
Yes.
Yes.
Chubby cheeks.
I like your I like your laugh lines.
Yes.
I think they're great. You're
You have
beautiful.
strong legs. I wish I had strong legs. You go, you mean fat? Is that what you mean? You're just
You-
having to call out my fat legs?
I love that sturdy look you have going.
I wish I could wear things like you.
It's just like not care about it
Just
at all.
shop at like big and plus stores. I wish they made that in my size. I'm little.
I wish I was a pig.
Yeah.
Fat pig.
You're a pig. I wish I was like that.
Yes. But your dad is a special human being.
yeah, no, he's
He's
great.
the greatest person I
He's-
think going.
He's
Me,
very
my
happy.
brother-in-law.
Yo,
We've
he-
decided the
he's the
awards
greatest man
for
in
the
America.
greatest people we
Yeah.
know.
That Matt Green,
My
is-
brother-in-law.
is. I think he's the greatest man in America.
I would actually nominate him.
See, I would.
Because family
stand behind
man,
it.
like really good dad,
Yeah.
really good husband, always totally non-judgmental, always
So
ready
funny.
to joke around and be silly.
Down to clown.
Also, like very knowledgeable about like things, cares about the environment, cares about city planning.
Yep.
Always just not pretentious. There's not a bad thing about him.
He's the perfect man.
Except his face.
Real
Yeah, if you
punchable.
don't look at him, no, he's a stunning man too. He's a cutie.
Let's see.
No, I'm not attracted to him, even though he does look exactly like, to me, I think you should leave Tim Robbins. He looks like a different version of him, but like his facial mannerisms and stuff are very similar. But yeah, I think him and your dad are like my top
Great guys.
great people.
Did you and your
dad's just-
sister ever like share a crush on a guy?
She
Oh,
lost
yeah.
her virginity to someone I had a crush on for a while. So that was a bummer. I called my dad that night sobbing
Wait, and did
in college.
told him everything?
Yeah.
No way.
I didn't tell her like I wasn't ratting her out. I was just like, I think I didn't say like, I think I don't believe I would have divulged what I knew. It was just like, can I restate that so my sister doesn't, well, no, she doesn't care. She had to lose her virginity at some point and it wasn't to Matt. I'm not saying the guy's name, but I liked this guy for a while and he was my age
Oh.
in my class.
right.
And this was in
So
college.
a little bit older, right?
Is she 2 years younger or 1 year?
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he was in my grade and he was
Ooh.
my friend's friend. And he was like, I liked him a lot. And then I found out that he liked her. That was just the way it went for old Glazed Dog for several years. And I just remember sobbing and looking at this I was on the floor looking at the carpet. I can always remember what carpet I'm staring into when I'm sobbing uncontrollably. It's like a thing. I remember
so
one
the
time
morning show
begging you
wasn't
to not to
far
break
off.
up with me. And I remember, yeah. Oh, that's true. I forgot who told me to get that rug. I'm sure she was a dear friend of mine, but I was, because that's how girls become friends. But I was,
It's the only way.
I just remember things when I'm like sobbing. I was like with this Target rug I had that was purple, and I was like sobbing into it, and my tears were dropping on it. And I called my dad because I just had nobody to talk to. Why would I call him? I have no idea. But I just, you know what? I think at this point in my life, I was so mad that my parents made me that I wanted to like torture them.
Right.
it was their
Take it
fault
out
I
on
existed.
EJ.
Mm.
Yeah, it's my fault that I kind of look like you more than I look like mom. And that's why this guy wanted to have sex with Lauren and not me. And I didn't say that, but it was just like, this is your fault. And I think lots of kids feel that way. I think that's
That's deep.
I didn't ask to get born. Why did you do this? I'm so ugly. No one likes me. It was really sad. And he was just like, and you know my dad's response. This is my
He
parents'
loves
response. You want to hear my parents' response to any
Yeah.
any
Oh,
time?
come on.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's close. This is ridiculous. I'm not listening to this anymore. This is so stupid. This is just shut up. Shut up. I mean, I will give them the benefit of the doubt because I was like, I am so ugly. I don't deserve to live. No one wants me. They all want Lauren. So it was kind
I'm
of like
kind
annoying.
of into that response. Now that I think about it, and I've had so much therapy about like making sure
Just
you allow
shut
people to
up.
have their feelings.
Nikki,
Maybe that's better.
I'm tired of listening to this shit. It's the same thing over and over. Just shut up. It does kind of work.
Almost Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we have to go to break. We'll be back with more after this.
Oh yeah. Did you guys talk? Have you done a podcast this week? Did you talk about your
I did one yesterday,
weekend?
yes.
Okay.
Well, I talked about the country club show and how it was kind of rough, but it was like ended up being fun. And then Lizzie and I hung out afterwards.
But you had like a great friend weekend. I feel like
Yeah.
having friend weekends, because we all like, because of COVID or whatever, like we all live in different parts of the country now. And
I got
it's
some
like,
good hanging in.
you gots to go see those friends. And it's like reaffirming how great life is when you see a great friend.
It's so true. I got Lizzie in, which was, she and I used to have lunch every single day for 3 years from like 2015 to 2018.
Mustard seed?
Yeah, Mustard Seeds Cafe on Hillhurst.
Oh, yeah.
In Los Feliz. We would have lunch every day there. We still go there sometimes, and there's still the busboy there that is there, the bus man.
Wow.
He's a bus man now. He
Yeah,
was a
he
boy.
grew
Yeah, he's grown, and he still recognizes us. It's nice. And then so yeah, it was so nice to catch up with her. And it's just like she's someone that I think has probably been hurt by my lack of staying in touch when I live in different cities. but she's let that go now. And so now we just like hop right into it. We're going to dinner tonight, actually. I'm getting on a plane right at the end of this podcast.
And you're going to see her tonight.
And I'm going to go to
Man,
dinner with her
she's so
tonight.
funny.
And then I had lunch with Rachel Feinstein, and she made me laugh a whole lot. And then I saw Emil.
Saralina?
I saw him at the airport too on my way
Saralina.
home.
Wow.
Yeah, I
By
didn't have a meal
accident?
with Emil,
By
but I saw
chance?
Emil. Yeah, I just go Emil, and he was walking by in LaGuardia.
I've
I was
seen
just
him
like,
at an
"Hi!"
airport too, by chance.
It was so exciting. It's so
I think-
exciting to run. And then we
Yeah.
realized we had nothing to talk about because we had just had been up 3 nights before
I
that.
was
We
like,
were just kind of like,
okay.
"All right, cool. See ya." And then and he might come on tour with us again. He told me he's going to come on some dates, which I'm very excited about.
He's done some dates with somebody else. It's awesome, right?
Neil Brennan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave Neil Brennan him.
That would be a
I wanna
great
say
show to
Well, that's
see.
what a gift.
Yeah. I own him. No, I
You're leasing him out like
yeah.
like
Lending his
Manchester
body
United.
Yeah. Wait, what Manchester United
Like the
leased out?
soccer teams will lease a player out to another
I
squad.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I saw Emil. Who else did I see? Oh, Saralina came with me to this event I hosted on Wednesday for like women in journalism. It was called the Matrix Awards. And I made the joke like it's a pleasure to host the Matrix Awards, even though I've never seen any of the movies. But I will say a man in a long coat did give me 2 pills on the way out here on the street, and I took both of them. So we'll see what happens tonight.
Did you say the I feel like I can dodge bullets?
No, I didn't say that one.
Did you say I could do kung fu?
No, I ran both of these by Chris, and he gave me some extra lines, but I didn't take them. Babe. I'm sorry to tell you like this.
Did any other jokes do well or bomb?
One thing did really well. It got in page 6. Actually, someone sent
Wow.
me it. So this woman gave a passionate speech about like her mentor Frank something. He's a big deal. He's some CEO or something, and she was like, and whenever I get in a jam, I always just think, what would Frank do? You know, and she was talking about that, and so my prompter stopped working at one point, and I was like, what would Frank do? What would Frank do? And people love a fucking callback, man. And then
Because
at
you
one
did
point,
something like that at the St. Louis. You won that St. Louis Excellent Award or whatever.
oh yeah.
Did you talk about that on a podcast?
I don't know if I talked about that. I won that award for being an excellent ambassador of St. Louis with Jackie Joyner Kersey. And yeah, I made some reference to like the mishap because as long as you're just addressing that's going on that is really boring, people like it.
Yeah.
So I was paying attention to the show so I could make those references because that's where I was gonna like get in the laughs. Final thought. I wasn't paid for this event. Just gonna put that out there. Usually you get like a gift bag or like you get, or they
Did they
like,
even give
donate
you
to
a
a
card
charity.
that said like, "Hey, thank you for doing this"?
No, didn't get it. They did get my rider. They did get me a
rice cake. No. What's nothing
Yeah, they got
exciting is
me-
on your rider.
No, nothing. Literally rice cakes
Smart.
and hummus
Pop.
and no, they got me a veggie tray and a Zevia.
How
But I
about an
did
Uber?
take in my they got me car service there and back,
Okay.
and they got me my flights. But I put
Oh,
myself
nice.
up.
Wow.
So
For the Matrix
And I-
Awards?
yeah.
It's like a charity?
And let me tell you, they gave away these awards that were made from Tiffany, like at Tiffany. And I
What?
go, why couldn't you just go to a trophy company, giving me a couple grand, even donate? Like, if I do an award show again, I'm going to ask for something.
Yeah, give something to Star
like an
Avian
infinity
Rescue.
ring or
Yeah.
something. I don't
Yes.
know.
Like, that's
I don't know, that
crazy.
seems like a Tiffany's.
Is this a charity? Is this a
It's a joy.
nonprofit? Like, or is it just?
I'll just tell you, when someone found out that was honored at the thing, I kind of broed out with one of the girls that was getting an award, who's one of the most impressive people I've ever met in my entire life. She got an award, and I told her later on, because she was like, "You killed it. That was such a long night. Oh my God, like you brought so much levity. Thank God you were there because it was long." And she did, and I said, "Did you know I go, and I can't believe I didn't get paid." And she goes, "What the fuck?" She was like, "You did it?" She goes, "What is wrong with you? Who is representing?" She got so mad, all caps, and it felt really good because I don't know why I did. I'm glad I did it. I think.
Seems like
I don't. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to ask me back, not because I didn't do a good job, but I did try very hard, and yeah, you just.
And you were in great
It's my
company.
fault for doing it and thinking that I would feel good enough doing it and not getting anything compensated. Like not getting compensated. I should have, researched it a little bit more.
Hmm.
Do your own research. Everybody knows that.
And as a journal, I should have known that.
How did they
Katie Couric
justify
posted
this
it
to
last
you?
year, so I could see saying yes because you're like,
All
Katie
I
Couric
went
posted.
off of was my manager. I didn't even read the initial email. My manager said this would be good for you to do. And he rarely says that.
And he's like the best in the game.
He's the best. And so I think he might have just made a mistake in this moment
Mm.
because this wasn't this.
Why is
I
it
don't
good for
think-
you to do?
We'll find
That's
out.
what I would like to know.
In 20
gonna
years,
find
we'll-
out in the
we'll
Well,
next
I
know.
made
year.
friends with this really impressive journalist woman that I'm like obsessed with. So like
Maybe
that
that
was
was
worth it
it.
to me. My friend Sarah Lena was there, and I
You
did.
got into page 6.
I did a good job. And the event, let me just say, this was nothing to shake a stick at. This event was a very well done dinner banquet, amazing. Like, just like it's something like I would have seen like you produce, Chris. Like you would have really loved the screens. Like while people were speaking, there would be a slideshow behind them. Then afterwards, there would be a video about their life, and the video was really interesting. And the speech, like the people that ran it were fucking top notch. The people who it was, I'm not trying to backtrack and like give credit, but it was an impressive event. But they should have paid a host, and I hope next year whoever hosts it gets some money because it was a lot of work for me to do.
Yeah, you prepared
And
a lot.
I will say that when I first got out there, the microphone was like down by my chest because I guess whoever had set it up was very short and they couldn't hear me, but I thought they could. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
an
'cause-
idiot with amplification.
Right.
Like, I know. So I just thought they could hear me, but they couldn't. So I'm talking about like, this is such an important night for women to share their voices. I'm so honored to be here,
like,
to be a beacon
"We
for
can't
all
hear
women.
you."
And so then a man, one of the stage directors comes out, a man, and takes the mic while I'm talking and lifts it up. And I go, oh, so I guess we do need men to like share our voices. I was like, thanks for mansplaining microphones to me. And that got a laugh too. So that was good. So that was like I would have probably written that in had I thought.
That's a
to do
great,
it.
yeah, that's a
Sure.
great
But
bit.
everyone they were honoring was like really cool. I got to hear a bunch of like TED Talks from these very impressive women. It wasn't, I would do the event again, but it was just too much work for me right now in my life. If I
Yeah.
didn't have anything else going on, I would absolutely have volunteered to do this. It was just coinciding with like my tour. And
Oh, yeah, you've got that tour coming up. Are there any dates that you've got?
there's so many dates.
Name one.
Dude. San
Wheatland,
Francisco.
California, which is near Sacramento. That's coming up. I have Vegas this weekend. I have San Diego, San Francisco, Calgary, Prior
Lawrence,
Lake,
Kansas.
Minnesota, Lawrence, Kansas,
yeah.
Denver.
Boston.
I
Back
just
to your
added a
roots.
show
Wow.
on the 30th at I believe the Paramount
They
Theater.
love you in Denver.
Yes.
Yeah, let's sell that out. I would love to do 2 shows, and I think that one will be pretty close to like midnight, so we'll be able to ring in the 31st together.
Great
It'll
crowds
be New
in
Year's
Denver.
Eve. It's the 30th.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Atlantic City.
bold.
Portland,
yeah, I know. I don't know what I'm
Oregon.
gonna do for.
Actually, that's kind of better
Detroit.
for people that live in Denver. Like skip New Year's Eve. Do New Year's
party
Eve
with us.
Mhm.
New
Yes,
Year's
take
Eve
a
Eve.
No
nap
traffic.
the next day.
None of the
Yes.
danger
no
of
kissing
being out
anyone.
Mm.
there. Well, you can kiss
There's
somebody.
no one kissing at my shows. I forbid it.
When's the last time you kissed?
Today, this afternoon
Yeah.
when I got home.
Oh, was it like a lot of tongue or?
No.
No.
Gross.
We don't go in for tongue unless it's like time to, we don't go into each other's
Put it in
bodies
the
until it's
butt.
time to go into each other's bodies.
I think it's time to end this podcast.
No, we kiss every night before bed. So it was last night before bed, and then when I saw you today, when I got home, and I go, "Hi, honey, I'm home."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do that
Aw.
whole charade.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Charade.
And yesterday, I made him. I'm obsessed with the song "Sure Thing" by Miguel.
Yeah. I had a game that I was thinking about trying to play, but I think we're out of time.
We're out of time. What was the game?
It's called Hot Takes. It's something I do on the Courtney Show.
Oh my god!
And it's
Let's
basically
hear
what
it.
I do is I go around to everybody. I bring up a topic and then I go, Nikki, and then you have to do a pretty quick hot take. Like
Oh,
the game
Let's
has
just do one really
the game
quick.
has pace. Well, we have to for it to work. We have to do like 3.
Well, let's just
Otherwise,
try
it feels
one.
silly.
because
Well, then it's not because then it's literally like, what's your hot take on this? And then you say something quickly, and then we say, all right,
everyone just says those. Fine, a hot take for each person. We'll do 3.
yeah, we could do it that way.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
cool. This is called Hot Takes.
All right.
Here we go. Natalie Imbruglia's 1997 cover of Torn, Anya, hot take.
Great. Loved it. Edna Swap wrote it. She fucking nailed it. Good for her.
True story. Sports betting in America. Good for America or bad for America? Brian, hot take.
Oh, excellent for America. Everyone could be rich.
Married life on a scale of 1 to 10. Brian.
10.
Crossword puzzles. Do you like doing them or not? Nikki, go.
They are fun every night, but I feel around 8:30 to 9 o'clock, there is a tension in the room as Chris awaits one. He can't really pay attention to whatever we're waiting because they drop at 9 o'clock. Whatever we're watching is not getting his full attention. There's just like a little bit of like there's like a little anticipation. And then when we do them, I've been losing so much because Brian and Chris and I all kind of compete on Mondays and Wednesdays. I don't even submit mine because as soon as I'm second place, I don't even want to do it anymore. And so I just stop playing.
Nikki gives up. Great hot take. Dusty as an insult. Noah, hot take.
I like it as an insult
Dusty's
to use against
pretty
somebody
cool,
else.
Noah, expound. Who would you call Dusty?
Probably like some gross metal dude.
Yeah.
Wait,
Great answer. Great answer. Salsa. Is it for dipping, pouring, or drinking?
Drinking,
Nikki,
my favorite
hot
drink.
take.
Yesterday, I even said, I was talking about a salsa and I was like, my mom won't even drink that brand. And Chris was like, people don't drink salsa.
Yeah, Nikki said my mom won't drink that brand. It was
I
so
forgot that
crazy.
people don't drink
Wait,
it.
I'm
Last
just
hot
stopping
take.
because I'm salivating just thinking
Oh,
about
yeah.
it.
I know.
good.
Wait, I gotta go to catch a plane. Okay.
Last
well-
hot take. Miguel's best song. Hot take. Nikki.
Sure thing.
I say it's Adorn. Brian, hot take. Miguel's best song.
I don't know who Miguel is.
I'm with
Okay.
Brian.
Alejandro's best novel. Anya, hot take. Trick question.
Alejandro?
Hot take is over.
Wait,
Very well
who's
done.
Alejandro?
It was made up because I just
It's
said
a Lady
Miguel.
Gaga song.
Oh yeah, it is a Lady Gaga song. All right, thank
Good
you so
job.
much for coming
Great
on the podcast,
game.
Chris. You're gonna drive me to
So
the
much
airport
fun.
now, baby.
Yeah, we were going to the airport.
All right,
All right.
going to gate 56. No kissing. All right, thank you guys so much. See you on the road on the tour. Please come out to my shows. I would love to see you besties there. Don't be and just dance. We'll be okay. Da-da-do and just dance with the record. And just gotta go.